If he wants to say something.
Yeah, yeah, but it's your turn to make some.
There's no need.
There's nobody else.
Başka biri var mı orada diğer gazetelerde?
Şu an hepsi çıktı.
They're all on. Let's have a photo. Let's photo all.
Lütfen danışma bürosuna Bayan Hatice Özdemir lütfen.
We got to get used to this. You will fall in love.
Wait, one day.
Ne kadar yakın birbirinize. Artık daha yakın da.
Çekse daha.
Ne yapıyorsun?
Detay alıyorum.
Mrs. Elizabeth.
Ben baştan ayrılmalıyız. Bir kişi daha alabiliriz.
Bir şey arıyorum, boş dönüyor. Gel sen de.
First of all, you must increase your activities and you must ask me to come to your each activity. And we are very glad to have you in Istanbul. Germans love Germany. Of course, they love their mother country, Turkey, but a great majority of them have respect for Germany, Germans, and they love Germany. We have very close contacts with them. And as I look back to the recent developments, that was, after 1960s, that your industry needed some extra workforce, so they were taken not from towns or cities, all the way from the village, without any even an experience in Istanbul or any big town, directly to your country. It was a very dramatic change for them. But in general, I look at this experience as a very happy experience, because now they are the bridge, they are the practical bridge between two countries. Another important aspect that is developing between Turkey and your country is the tourism sector. Now almost 2 million German people are coming to visit Turkey each year. And of course, in tourism sector, we have the best value. And they are very happy. I very closely watch them. This is our sector, maybe Yusuf told you, that I am founder of Net Holding, which is the biggest tourism group in Turkey. So I closely watch tourism developments between Germany and Turkey, and I am very glad to see that there is a very long-term trend of German people choosing Turkey as their vacation destination, gradually. And I am sure that more and more of them, after they get retired, they will come even to live in Turkish towns. So this also will affect to the big human exchange, human touch between two countries. Other things you know about our big trade, our cooperation in Europe, in NATO, in all other phases of international politics. So we place big importance to our relations. And such visits are important. You are a small group, but you are leaders of your people. You are not an ordinary German youth from the street. You are politically involved, and you are You have chosen a political philosophy, and people like you are very important for us. Very briefly, I will tell you about liberal movement. That's what it writes here. Let me see what is it? Significance of political liberalism in Turkey. Political liberalism is very significant in Turkey. Okay, this is enough. Well, you know, luckily, after the collapse of Marxism or Soviet Union or socialism, our liberal ideas are popping up. Most probably you have studied history of liberal philosophy. It is 19th century is our golden age. After 19th century, again our liberals started to become left liberals. First leftists in political history are liberals, you know. In England, conservatives were sitting on the right, liberals were sitting on the left. How it is right and left. Then liberals started, without knowing, to move. First, they advocated personal freedom, private initiative. But later on, to protect the working class, they started to go into social state slowly, establishing big state organizations for the good of the people, and then slowly into labor unions. Labor unions were created because of liberals. Then slowly the left came in, and you know what happened? All the rich kids, you look at the history of leftism, you will see that rich kids are leftists, socialists. Tony Blair, you know, he's a very wealthy young man, and he is labor. You know Margaret Thatcher? She's a daughter of a grocery store owner. And Major, his father was in a circus business or something. You see the irony. I mean, the rich kids are becoming leftist, and the people from the poor class are becoming conservative. Liberals, anyhow, opened the way for leftism, for socialism. And socialism overtook in 20th century. This century is a failure for humankind, 20th century. In some aspects, you can say that human beings progressed, but two big, very stupid wars and the totalitarian movements of socialism, it's all says that 20th century is not positive. 19th century is much better than 20th century. And we hope that 21st century will be our century. We will go back again to liberal philosophy, which is private initiative, competition under the rule of law, and human rights. Well, in our country, liberal movement is very small, unfortunately, because liberal movement started in 1930s as a small party. It was closed down by totalitarian one-party system. In 1950, Demokrat Party, who was elected yesterday, we inaugurated 47th anniversary. One of the biggest achievements of Turkish democracy is that in 1950, 14th of May, we had a free election, and Demokrat Party took over the government as the winner of the election. For 27 years, Republican Party, who was founder of Republic, was in power. It's a one-party totalitarian rule. And Turkey, with her own initiative, in 46 decided to go into multi-party system, and democracy prevailed. 14th of March 1950, which is a very important date. And Democrat Party somewhat advocated our ideas, liberal ideas. So first liberal movement that put its print, its stamp on Turkish life, in political life, in social life, in economic life, is Democrat Party's rule between 1950 and 1960 for 10 years. Especially the first 5 years have been excellent, between 50 and 55. Very unfortunately, in 1960, which we are very much ashamed of, we had the military intervention. Then new parties were formed, but slowly Turkey moved away from liberalism into state system again. Even during the period of Democrat Party, it was not totally liberalism. Still state had many things in economic life. But private sector, liberal ideas, freedom, free justice, and all democratic and political instruments that we have today were established during this period. After 1960, we went back again with the state intervention, state investments, state planning office directing private investments, big tariffs. It is a very unfortunate period, but anyhow, Turks survived. And after we had, unfortunately, 2 more military interventions. This is, I am very ashamed of, to talk about these things. Military interventions are a big shame for Turkish people. It's disgusting that Turkey, after all this big experience of Ottoman Empire has been one of the biggest successes of human history. You don't know enough, but Ottoman rule is the most benevolent and in social and religious terms the most tolerant rule of the world history. Only in political means it was a central political power. So after this Ottoman tradition, after the tradition of 1950s, to go back again to military intervention is a big shame for Turkish people. We had the last one in 1980. I don't want to go too much into detail, but they are, of course, we will not approve them in any condition. Democracy can go into crisis. What will happen? You will stay democratic because the system that solves the crisis is democracy. In other words, you need democracy during the time of crisis. When your country goes this way or that way, you cannot drop democracy and go to a military rule or an authoritarian rule. You cannot make excuse of crisis. This is a very important point. Unfortunately, some of the intelligent idiots of Turkey, some of the journalists, which are still, I am very much ashamed of, when Turkey has a problem, they want to grab, oh, let's have military to correct it. Who is military to correct it? Let's say that someone is sick in your house, all right? You call a doctor, and doctor gives some medicine, and you see that still the patient, your relative, has a problem. What do? After you send the doctor, do you call the guard outside to heal the patient, or you call another doctor? You call another doctor. Military is an organization to fight, to defend the country. It's not an organization to solve political problems. This is very unfortunate, what we have this climate in Turkey. Of course, we openly reject, and we want to tell Turkish people, public, that they must put their senses on and they must just stick to the democratic process. Well, anyhow, we are liberals, we come from the real life, and when we come to power, take care of the justice, police, army, and the minimum bureaucratic service. This is very simple. We are against the social state. We think that the social state creates big parts of the country, plus gives you a very bad service. You have the same problem in European countries, and I hope that you will have enough strong leadership to tell to your people that if you give up social state, you will have better social institutions. You will have better hospitals. And you will pay less for a better. Our objectives is to tell Turkish people that the state cannot serve you. The state cannot serve you. So, education, health, cultural activities will have nothing to do with the state, but we will support them with tax amnesties. In other words, we will not take a penny from them. A center of the best doctors of the world, best universities of the world, best cultural institutions of the world, including media, musical activities, and so on. This is the basic program. That means that we will take less taxes. We will reduce to 10%. 10% is the golden figure we have. In other words, insult to the successful one. You are punishing the success when you progressive. You know what progressive tax? You earn 10 million Deutschmarks out of 1 million Deutschmark, and you earn from 1 million Deutschmark 200,000 Deutschmark. We take 60% of your earning, which is 6 million because you earn that. Why? Because you are successful, we punish you. We give the money back to you. What do you take away? Huh? Did any rich person, so we will give the money to the one who is successful. Let him use it. Maybe you will make a hospital when you get old in your name. It's a big service to the country. They have to respect you more. The businessmen are for our strategy, entrepreneurs are the most important people of the world in world history. The real heroes of world history are entrepreneurs. It can be a camel caravan owner. He's an entrepreneur. He's taking one product, one place to the other. A ship owner, Phoenician ship owner in the old ages. He's an entrepreneur. Or a Mughal trader in Central Asia, entrepreneur. The real net income that is derived for humankind comes from entrepreneurs. That's why we have we have the success in science, in arts. If you don't have money, how can you work to invent something? You die of hunger. Someone has to pay you to eat, that you start to invent something. If you are an artist, how can you create an artwork without someone helping you? This is very critical. All of the world should know that the heroes and the most respected part of the society are entrepreneurs who risk their abilities, their time, their health, their money to create something new. For what? It looks like for himself, but it's for the society. I compare this to a cow. There are cows that we take the milk from. Poor cow gives the milk not for us. She thinks that it is for their calf, but we drink it. We take good care of the cow to get more milk. But who gets advantage? It's the we who drink the milk, the children, the people. So entrepreneurs are the real driving force of any society, any economy in political sense, in social sense, in economic sense. So in our philosophy, we openly say that our basic emphasis is on the entrepreneur. It can be someone's grocery owner, a truck driver who owns his truck is an entrepreneur. who employs 2 people, 5 people, or a couple thousand people. This class is the most important class that we have to cater and we have to watch for. We have to do everything to please them, to encourage them. Entrepreneurs are in the social life as well. A theater organizer is an entrepreneur. A movie maker is an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs have to be dynamic enough to serve the needs of the society. Because if you don't serve the needs, you know what happens? You lose money, you go bankrupt. It's very simple. Punishment is right there. This is the basic philosophy of Liberal Democrat Party. Is it enough? Should we go to questions? It's better that we go to questions, huh?
I think the second interesting speech for our colleagues, head of the delegation.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you for your time you're spending with us here and your nice introduction. And obviously, of course, also for these nice surroundings here. They're really helpful. Concerning to...
Sorry, that's a tradition in Germany.
Ah, I didn't know. Ah, very nice, very nice. How do you pronounce your first name? Jonas?
Jonas, yes.
Jonas, okay.
Just to recall, the first few words you said, that Turkey and Germany has lots of things in common, especially because of all these Turkish immigrants we have in Germany. And you said that this is a useful bridge to establish a dialogue. I think this is very important, but we have to take care that this bridge is used. What serves a very good, nice bridge which nobody uses. So we have to take care that this advantage or chance we have should be used by both societies. But the one thing is to get a better feeling of integration for the Turkish immigrants in Germany, and to use their knowledge as an access to the understanding of the Turkish society from both sides. And that's one
Long discussion about this with your politicians in Germany. We had similar discussions, yes.
But with the rest, I can
Yes.
agree. This
Of
is
course,
society.
my opening speech is not long enough to answer all these little loops, so your questions will fill them in. First of all, about Turkish people in Germany and the bridge. It is happening. Slowly it's happening. Because it is a need. When the need arises, people start to trade, do business, go back and forth. Bridge is there, and it's going to be used more and more. I am very positive about that. Anyhow, in our philosophy, we leave these things to the people. We are against any state intervention plus state telling you what to do or encouragement even. Going back to your question, system in itself takes care of the poor people, needy people. How? First, in the first 8 years, we have a scholarship system for the poor. 8 years scholarship for the poor. But we are going to abolish the big budget of education, only give it to the scholarship. That means that there is no waste. Now in our education, it's like 10 liters you pour from the top, underneath you get from the tap 2 liters. Where are the 8 liters? It's gone in the way. Because state wastes all this money with big bureaucracy, stupid expenditures. So what we'll do, we'll just cut it. We'll say, in education, look, I'm going to give you scholarship for the 2/3 of the students. You know what it means? 66%. It's only 33% that will pay, and they are well-to-do people. We will choose them, but state will not choose them. Private agencies, like Arthur Anderson or other, they are very private agencies, will see who needs the scholarship. After 8 years, They can get scholarship from the private sector, from the schools, because schools give scholarship to good students. If they don't have any of them, they can get loans, soft loans from the banks. So it's all handled. In health, but they will have different class of services. First class, second class, and third class. The cheapest class, for instance, let's say, is 50 Deutschmarks a month they need. State gives half of it. In other words, if a worker chooses the lowest class, he has to give 50 Deutschmark. He gives 25 Deutschmark, and the state adds 25 Deutschmark. This is a subsidy for social service. Now, a question will arise, what happens if he doesn't choose any of them? You know what will happen? Nothing will happen. We will advertise, and maybe his friends will tell him, are you stupid? Pay 25, that state will pay 25. Because if you don't pay 25, you lose the 25 that the state gives you. Let's say that with all this initiative, some people don't apply to any of them. Then he will be looked after by his relatives, by his friends, or by the private foundations. Because in Turkey there is a big private foundation culture. Rich people are opening hospitals, this and that, for poor people. So the system takes care of itself. When I was discussing with your politicians in Germany, they said that in our country, in Germany, our family ties are not very strong. So in Germany, this may not work. I said, yes, maybe so. But in Germany, you are more disciplined than Turks to pay the 25 marks. No German will miss the state subsidy of 25 marks. And he will pay 25 to get 25 from the state, right? You look at the penny.